Welcome to the LFG Life, where we want you to live life at the B100, 100 level, which is be 100%, 100% of the time. I'm here with Cornell Bunting. Cornell,
yes, sir.
What's up, my brother?
Yo, this is rad, bro.
Via Jamaica, he's in Fort Myers. He's rocking life.
Man.
You know, my partner, executive producer, the 9-time Emmy Award winner, John Before, he saw you at an event the other night. It was called Fuck Ups. We're going to refer to it as F Up as we go. And John met you that night. He heard your story. Texted me. He's like, "We got to have him on the show." You're on the show today, but in the first few minutes that I've met you, you and I have a lot in common. We're gonna cover that.
Right.
But who is Cornell Bunting?
Man, Cornell Bunting, author, father, for the most part, a guy that's walking in his purpose right now.
And because you're walking in your purpose now, which means you didn't before.
I wasn't before. I didn't care about that because, you know, when you're walking in your purpose, you're doing community. You're helping other people find their way and find their purpose.
Yeah, so, you know, I can always tell. And again, we literally just met, so this is like live, raw stuff, real life stuff here. I'm trying not to curse because the fifth commandment, I'm sorry, the third commandment is don't use the Lord's name in vain, and I'm trying so hard. It is a tough one. But Cornell, you're an author, 9 books. You got a new one coming out.
Yes, sir.
And you died.
Yeah, man.
You died
for 16 minutes, man. It was crazy. So it was really coming off me coming out of jail, you know, after facing 32 years of life. I just lost over $580,000. Didn't get none of it back. Literally on my face, man. But I was in denial of me being concerned that I've lost all that. So I was just functioning, trying to figure out how to get back. And I think in the midst of all that stuff that was happening, right after I put out my first book, Lion with No Roar, like a month, I was in church and fell out my chair. In about 5,000 people in the congregation.
You just fell out.
Fell out, man. They thought I was laughing, and then they realized I was not moving, and so they brung the defibrillator and all these different things to try to bring me back. Nothing. So around the 16 minute when the pastor is arguing with this guy about not putting me in a body bag and zipping me up to take me out, I came back.
I got to ask, man. You hear these stories, right? No, you got to hear these stories. In that 16 minutes, did you see anything?
Man, listen, that 16 minute felt like probably a week. You know, there's a lot of stuff that unfold, man.
Tell me, did you see the light? Did you see the Messiah?
I don't know if I would say I saw the light. You know, I did have a conversation with a guy. His head never came together. He was making me an offer, so I feel I was probably
hold on. In this 16-minute pause, this time out in your life.
Yeah,
you had a conversation with somebody.
Oh yeah,
who was it?
His head was distorted. The head never came together. It just looked like a bunch of moving parts trying to form that just never formed, man. It was crazy.
Was it the Messiah?
No, because he wanted me to give him a number that I could multiply by itself 3 times. And I couldn't give him that number. But the amount that it came out to, I would get that in my journey as the author that I was, you know, that path that I was started on. It was a lot of money. It was like over 900. It was a 9-figure amount, and all I had to do was tell him the number. It was 3 6s. I didn't know that was the number at the time. So I was trying to negotiate out of things, but it didn't work. He wanted my son. He wanted my youngest, and I said I can't do my youngest.
Whoa. So you're in there. You're dead. Yeah. In the life, in our world, you're now in a negotiation with someone.
Different.
And what do you mean he wanted your son?
Well, I couldn't tell him the number. I didn't know what number it was because I guessed numbers and I only had 3 options. I had 3 chances of getting the number and I didn't get the number. So the next option was to give him my son.
To mean hand over your son to death?
You know, he just said, "Give me your son," and I said, "I can't give you my son." It was that fast.
So the number, you never came to a number.
I didn't. It was later after I figured out what the number.
When you came back to life.
Yeah.
But still, we'll call it as foreshadowing in your world as an author, right? Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
What do you think the significance of you saying no to your son was?
Well, I mean, I love my kids. You know, so I think at the time.
Were you thrown back into life after you said no on the side?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I came back.
So one would have to think, just for as we're just talking about this, was it the devil?
Oh yeah. I think I was hanging with the devil because the number was 666. Yeah.
Definitely.
But there was other stuff that I'd unfold later when I crashed my Beamer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy. So let's keep going because this is something. So you came out of
it's a
that.
whole lot to swallow.
Did you like just sit up on stage and front, or was it you had to go to the hospital and be revived? And
oh no, yeah, they took me to the hospital and they cut open my chest.
Oh, this isn't just like in the movies where you shot back up and you said, "Okay, I'm sorry."
Oh no. They took me to the hospital. They did a whole. I was there for 4 days. They put a defibrillator in, and it was a whole old ordeal, man.
So when you have an ordeal like that, 16 minutes plus the 4 days in the hospital, they rip you open. You've had an encounter with Satan.
Yeah.
What have you done since then?
So, well, I walked in my purpose because what happened was when I was falling, a voice asked me if I'm going to let go and let him take control. And in that time, I said, fine. I was rebelling, but in that falling, I said, you know what, fine. And I let go, and I feel like God jumped in around that time. And, so now what I've done now is I've identified all these different things that I know, the importance of sharing it. Because when you discover certain things, like knowledge is so unique. And it's so unique in a way that you have factual, and then you have fiction stuff that people have tell it so well, it sound like the truth. And then the people believe the truth. And after a while, that truth is, that lie is actually the truth. In their mind. Yes. So when you come with factual pieces to talk to these individuals because they have become a product of whatever that is, it's hard to convince them to say, you know what, you've been fed the wrong information. But they function on that and they thrive on that, so they moving on that.
A big thing in our world, fake news and fact checks.
Right. Right.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm so stuck on this 16 minutes where you met the devil, but when you said no to him having your son, God came back in and put you back into this. So I'm going to ask you a question because you and I, you've been to jail, I've been to jail.
Yeah.
They've obviously kept your pants. You got to keep the pants from jail. Let's show his pants here. Can you get your pants in? You still got to keep the pants, the black and white stripes. But I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Were you a bad guy before this?
No.
In your mind?
Well, I could be a bad guy. But I wasn't a bad guy. I tried to just live for my kids at the time. Like when I came to this country, my goal was become a citizen, open my own security company, go to college, get my degree and all those things. Mm-hmm. Didn't care about nothing that was going on. It was just me, my kids, we live life, that's it.
Right. So when I said you were a bad guy, it wasn't like bad guy, like we talked earlier, but you were doing things wrongly. You weren't purpose driven, but you were providing.
Right.
But you said something to me. You were buying time.
I was buying time. Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah. So basically, what was unfolding was for me at the time, it was about living the fabulous life, and then don't give people the time of day. Like, if you were my friend, then you could hang out with me, but it was hard to get in my circle because for me, I had started with this distrusting because I see how people hurt people, and so it was one of those where my kids was first with whatever that looks like, and then everything else after.
We seem to have a connection with each other from the standpoint, and you said something earlier that I was I did the same thing to my family. I was the provider.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't need to be at the game. I didn't need to be there. You have that car. You live where you live. You go to school where you go to school. We live in the zip code we want to zip. But that's all BS.
Yeah, man, that is all BS. That's not it because spending time with your unit, that your seeds, that you
tribe.
put here,
Yeah.
your tribe, is very important, because this is how they evolve to be their best self. When they understand what that look like, spending quality time with,
Men, listen to what he's saying. Men,
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
I'm talking to you, men. This is what we like. We have got to do a better job. We think it's not about just providing financially. It's providing spiritually. It's providing our time. Believe me, I learned the hard way. I did exactly. If we were off camera, we'd probably be crying through the same blueprint. Like I thought I was my job, the provider.
Right.
That is complete BS.
It is. It is.
You've got to be there.
You got to be present.
You got to be present. So, which is 100, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to hate that when my wife's significant other would say, "You need to be present." It used to drive me nuts because even though I was at the game, I was on the phone doing deals or putting it all together, and be present. It drove me nuts. But now I get it.
Yeah.
You have to be there. You've got to be.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you got to make the eye-to-eye contact.
Right, because I used to do that with my son plays football. And when my son tells me, "Dad, when I come out in the stadium and I look in the stand and I see you and I see you see me, you give me so much energy."
Ooh, we're both bald, but I'm like, I got the chills. Yeah.
Because they need that. That's the energy they run from. Now, when my kid say he come out and he's looking everywhere and he can't see me, he's down, because he's like, you know what, my dad's not even here to see me do something great today.
But you know what also, Cornell?
Yeah.
They see you on the phone.
Right, yes.
They see you walking to the car.
Right.
They see you smoking a cigarette maybe. They see you, the point is they see you.
They see you doing things that has nothing to do with them.
One of my favorite sayings, it was from Herm Edwards, who used to coach the New York Jets. What you do in the dark will show in the light.
Oh, definitely.
What you do in the dark will show in the light.
Most definitely.
So if you're out doing bad things, and I could list them, drinking, drugging, pulling around on your family, in the dark, it'll show in the light.
Oh, definitely.
You'll be exposed.
Yep.
Conversely, though, if you're doing great things in the dark, you're sleeping well, you're working out, you're with your family, you're doing all the right things, you will shine.
Oh, definitely.
You will shine. Like, you shine to me. Like when you walked in there, like this he's on fire. Like
Thank you.
You are living your life in purpose.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So tell us the next book that's coming out. Is this number 10 or is this number 9?
There's number 10. So it's actually, so what happened was I had put out Escaping a Life Sentence, which talked about
escaping a life sentence.
Yeah, so that was my biggest number
I was in for
one.
tax evasion.
Okay.
And I was sentenced to 31 months. I did a year and 4 days because I was allowed to the benefit of what's called the residential drug and alcohol program.
Okay.
How do you go from 31, 33 years to
32
life?
years to life to 10 months. Yeah.
So what were the charges?
So it was 8 on the conspiracy, 8 on the solicitation, and so between the two, that mount up.
Right. So those
are the categories.
Right. But are those the news headline?
Yeah.
You know, when they go, this guy's going to go for 120 years, and then we know they're running congruent, and you get a 5-year sentence. You're out in 2.5 years because of good behavior and all blah, blah, blah. Right. But still, that's what they put in the press, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So you get out of that situation, but you spend 10 months inside.
Yeah. 10 months in maximum security, hanging out with some serious felons, man. I didn't know people did more than one life sentence.
Well, let me just explain what max means. So you have a camp, which means you're 10 years a door to go home.
Right.
Normally it's first time non-filing a white collar offense.
Right.
Then there's the low.
Right.
So camp is no controlled movement. Low is where you experience the first, where you have controlled movements. You got to be from cell block C to D in 2 minutes.
Right.
Medium, you're locked down on almost 24/7.
Yeah.
Maximum, there's zero movement.
Zero movements.
And then there's penitentiary, which that's kind of like that's the end of the line.
Yeah.
But so you're in max.
That is in maximum security.
Where were you? In Fort Myers?
Yeah. And so we get to see the light of day 1 hour a week.
1 hour a week.
Yeah. So 1 hour. So there's one day of the week, and I think it was a Tuesday, and we would go out for 1 hour, but you only see the sky. That's as much as you see, because the thing was that high. You can't see nothing around. It's just, you see the sky, that's it. For 1 hour, then you go back in your cell.
What'd you do for those 10 months? I mean, there's a thing we have between each other, right? Everyone. We all have the same walk, but it's a different walk.
It is a different walk. I had to create a shell of myself in there to be aligned with those guys and the mindset.
World.
Oh, it's a different world, man. I mean, I see guys having relationship with the CEO and she has no idea that they have a relationship. And if someone else look at her, he's gonna get in a fight with whoever is looking at her because that's his girl.
He's manifesting.
You know, oh yeah. It's but there are so many different things that unfold. But for me, I only ate the meal once a week because it was only once a week I felt like we got proper food. Everything else was terrible.
So you ate once a week?
Well, no. I had commissary. So I eat from the commissary.
What was your spending per month?
It was like $6. I think that we were only allowed to spend $60 a week.
Right.
So on commissary.
So $240 a month.
Yeah, it's about $240 a month. I was
in
spending.
camp. I was able to spend $300.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, then I had everyone else was broken there, so I would put $300 on yours, $300 on yours, $300. So every $100 I put on yours, I got 80. You got 20. If I could shop on Thursday, you shopped on Monday, Tuesday. So I had 4 days. I had the whole thing.
You was that guy.
Yeah. But then I was also loaning money in there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
There's no currency.
Yeah.
It's all food, right? It's all chicken, steak, fish, and the package that you get at Publix.
Right.
But you had to become someone that you're not.
Oh yeah. I had to be. Yeah, and I had a few guys that they were like, "Hey man, we'll give you our chicken if you just protect us," because when I was there, they assumed I was a dangerous man. So because of how the media painted the picture of me and all that stuff.
You look pretty damn mean, too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't, I'm sure you make a mean face.
Yeah.
That's pretty mean.
Yeah, so that worked in my favor.
Right.
So I've never got into... I got in an altercation one time with a guy that was doing 3 life sentence.
Yeah, which he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. So...
Yeah.
But what I did, I caught him off guard when he was talking. So the way I hit him here, it chopped his ear off. And so he was trying to catch his breath. So in that time, I just pinned him on the wall and I said, we don't walk the same path, bro.
Right.
That was it. It was done after that. Because he wanted to know who was running that.
Sure.
And because that's how they do it. They beat up whoever they feel is the strongest to run that.
The weakest link.
Yeah. So, but it didn't work for him.
Well, there's so many nuggets in here. I mean, if you first of all, you don't want to get in that position.
No, you don't.
Listen, I put myself in a position. Cornell put himself in, but there's a code. There is a life in there that if you don't adhere to it, and you got to survive.
Oh yeah.
So the big thing for me for survival from a mental capacity was routine. Yeah. What was your routine like?
So my routine was every day I get up, I read, then I write, then I work out.
Did you write any of your 9 books in there?
Yeah. I wrote 4 of them.
Amazing.
I wrote 4 of them.
Amazing the time that you have.
I know, right?
Productivity.
Oh yeah. I was reading like 1 book a day. At one point, I was reading so fast. It was wild.
Yeah.
But I was that quiet guy. But yet it's like they feared me. It was one of those crazy things, man. And they gave me a nickname, Dread. So they're like, yeah, Dread run that. They gave me the title Running the Block without me even taking a title. Because I never really talk. I was really angry because I was losing a lot of money. I felt like if there was anyone that was to approach me on anything, I would probably punch them in the face. That would be my first.
You walked around, with the way you look, and had an aura around you that just don't fuck with.
Don't mess, and that was just. So I had a few guys that would give me their chicken to make sure that they didn't get beat up in there. So they would sit around me, and when people see them sit around me, they wouldn't mess with them. So
you're writing on the daily.
Yep.
You're reading on the daily.
Yep.
What else?
Yep. And so what I would do. From there, it was really mostly just that. And then workout. Yeah. So inside that yard, you can work out. So I had a team of guys.
Yep, the car.
Yeah.
Did they ride in your car?
Yeah, that we work out. And so in the unit, it's only 4 beds, but 5 people is in the unit. So the 5th person has to sleep on the floor.
Yeah, the newbie.
Yeah, the newbie. So or the weakest link.
Right.
Because sometimes the newbie that comes in know how to handle himself and he takes whoever You know,
the strong will survive, man. It's the strong will survive. So you go through this, you change who you are. You as you said, you just become someone that you're. Maybe not that you're not, but that you have to be in there. You might have attributes of that person, but then you really got to. Like I was taught, you can be whoever you want in prison.
Right. Oh, definitely, definitely.
I mean? So.
But you know what happened was because it was so many young guys that was coming, and so what clicked at me when I was there was these dudes are not learning much out here in the world. The school doesn't do a lot of soft skill learning with them.
Yeah.
So these dudes were just fully, I don't want to say slower, dumber than a box of rocks, but we had different things that we would do, and I'm always coming out on top. And I'm like, there's no way. Some of these guys' story was just brutal. We had one guy, where he was before they sent him where we were, they put 2 honey buns on his bed.
200 what?
Honey buns.
Honey buns.
And he thought they were just very nice, welcoming. So he ate both honey buns. And then they came and got him that evening. He said them boys was raping him so much. He was crying because he didn't want to go back. He was trying to appeal down his time or whatever it was. And I said, dude, never do that, man. Never. But I mean, no one really warned him. You know, it was his first time going in, you know, and so. But
so just for people listening, what do the honey buns represent?
So honey bun is an invitation.
Gotcha.
An invitation. So when you eat the honey bun, you now become my girl.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you're walking by the table and you want to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have that in there?
No.
Yeah. So where I was, if you wanted to sit down at a table and there were a bunch of guys sitting around, you had to go like that.
Oh, okay.
And if someone didn't do that, that means you couldn't sit.
Yeah, you had to keep moving.
Yeah, you had to keep moving. So, yeah, I was always intrigued by it. But I remember when I went in, within 48 hours, I had picked up on what I needed to do. I kept my mouth shut, even though I was in a camp. But I was able to.
You clicked with a unit.
Well, I clicked, because I'm an athlete. I went right out to the basketball court, got on the white man team, right? Because they're the whites against the blacks, the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
And I was able, and I can play basketball, and then I got on the football team, and I can play football. That was my background.
Oh, okay, so you were good then.
As soon as I did that, but it's kind of the same way, like in the camp as opposed to the max, you can't hit anybody.
No.
If you hit someone, you go into the shoe,
you go in
housing unit, 10-day mandatory. If I hit you, we're both going.
Right.
Until they find out who started it.
Right.
And then if you do something that really bad, you're going shipped off to Beaumont, Texas. And you're out of the camp.
Yeah.
So if we walk by each other and we literally if I touched you like microscopically like that, are you good? You good?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah.
You good?
Oh,
You
definitely.
You walk through prison like this. I must have said you good about 17,000 times.
Yeah.
You good? You good? You good?
Right.
You good?
Yeah. I remember too where you were. If your knuckles were soft, because that was one of the things they checked too. If your knuckle had any type of red on it, they knew you was in an altercation.
Yeah.
You going in the box.
Yeah. Right.
The box was brutal, man. It was like one little.
Well, the box and max and the box and the shoe, the same. It's the same concept. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about you had a silo of light. In the
Oh yeah.
max.
That's it.
I mean, I was in a camp, but I mean, but I was always thankful for my experience because I wrote my book in prison. I read novels. I worked out. I went in at 26% body fat. Came out at 9. I started 2 companies. Yeah, I changed my whole life. My walk with God. It was crazy.
Beautiful.
So you did what I did. You took that 10 months and you made it productive.
Oh, definitely. I had to.
Yeah,
I had to.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have made any sense any other way. Like you come out and you still doing foolishness.
There's a thing. It's called recidivism.
Recidivism.
Like 75% of people go back in because they're used to it.
Right, because the thing was a lot of those guys wasn't paying attention to detail.
Correct.
And I always tell people this: in your adversities, this is when you're being taught. You're being pruned. You're being taught the next you, the next better you, the next better version of you, and you need to grab that. You need to pay attention to the lessons that are being taught. But most times when people they got their back against the wall, they don't necessarily understand what that looks like. Right. So they go through it and then they repeat the cycle.
Yeah. Or at that point in time, when the judge does the sentence or hits the gavel and sentences you to you didn't get sentenced, thank God, but
right.
when you're against the wall, that's when you reach out to God, where you should be reaching out to God and talking to
Oh,
God
yeah.
throughout the whole situation.
Right.
And even when you're getting jammed up, okay, what am I supposed to learn? What are you teaching me now?
Right,
Like you're
right. Oh, yeah.
And if you can understand where you are in your adversity,
Right.
you can quicker get yourself out of it.
Oh, definitely.
Knowing, you know what I mean? As opposed to like, you know, I did a segment on my stuff about owning it. Like
Right.
once you own it, like when I own the mistakes that got me in there,
You have to.
it
Yes.
freed me up.
Oh, definitely.
That makes sense?
Oh, definitely. That's the challenge a lot of us go through now. We don't own a lot of the stuff that we're going through because we got to look for who we can point the finger at. You know, you mess up. Even if I hired someone to do something and they mess up on what that looked like, those in the process of them messing up, they're gonna show me red flags that something's gonna happen if I don't get closer to this individual and say, hey, this is how I needed to get done. This what, and you not follow through on all that stuff.
Right.
When they do screw up, you say, I gave you the money. You were supposed to do this. You still got to own that because you hired that person.
Yep.
You know, but we don't own a lot of that stuff. We don't own a lot of our actions, you know, because we look at it so different.
People love to talk about the prison thing, right? They love it. They just think you know, for whatever reason they just get off on it. So you got out after 10 months.
Right.
Charges were dropped, or did you get
No. So you know, now I had to fight for my innocence. You know, now I had to prove
you went
that.
To trial?
Yeah. My case was the oldest case.
So you went to trial and won.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, doesn't happen.
That does never happen.
First of all, this guy is a walking miracle because when you go to trial and you're jammed up by the feds or the system,
right?
They're betting the house that they got you.
Oh yeah.
And so if you can plea out, most people plea out because a good criminal defense attorney never goes to trial.
Right.
That's who's representing. They cut a deal for you.
Right.
But if you go to trial, you're literally rolling the dice.
Oh, definitely.
So tell me about.
So
you must have had some unbelievable inner fortitude.
Listen,
and the biggest cojones I've ever. I mean, to go to trial.
We had 17 pre-conference trial. They wanted me to take a plea deal so bad. They came every time. They would come with a plea deal.
Did it get better and better and better?
Yeah. It would get better and better. I'm like, why would I take a plea deal when I did nothing? You guys fabricated a story.
What was the best plea deal that you'd gotten?
5 years.
5 years, so you're out in
about 2.5.
2.5 years,
out
right?
In 2.5, yeah.
And then the exit would have been probably 3 years, 5 years on paper.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
They're the best languages in prison.
Yeah.
So you go to trial.
Right. Went to trial, and so the third day of trial, my accuser. So this is really what kind of changed everything around. My accuser was venting. He was venting on the locations that I was putting him. The locations were boring. He didn't like that I was black because when I opened my company, I was 32 years old. He was venting to my attorney. My attorney had got him into a relaxed space where he's questioning him on certain things.
So he's on the stand.
Yeah, he's on the stand.
Okay, so he's getting cross-examined.
He's getting cross-examined.
Holy
not
shit.
realizing what's happening. And so, because he didn't even realize he was telling on himself. So it was in the moment of talking about the locations I was putting them, you know.
He was saying you were going to kidnap him.
Well, he said I gave him money to go kidnap someone.
Got you.
But my attorney kind of removed that from the conversation. I was just kind of talking about what was it like working for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So now your attorney's got him on the stand. He starts venting, and what does he say that cracks open?
So he was just saying that he didn't like that, you know, the color of my skin and all that stuff. And so my attorney, in the midst of him talking and all that stuff, my attorney said, "How much did they pay you?" But I think he didn't realize at the time how it hit him, and he said how much they paid him. And once he said how much they paid him, then everyone realized, oh, so you were paid to accuse this man of all this foolishness.
What was his reaction once he dumped it out?
Oh, he said, wait. He was like, wait.
All you need is one.
Yeah, that's it.
All you need is one hung jury, right?
Yeah.
So what happens after that?
So they still finished the trial. They still went the other days.
Was that the deciding factor?
But that was the deciding. That was the deciding.
So did it come back hung?
Yeah. They came back. All 16 of them found me.
Oh, brother.
Oh yeah.
My gosh. I don't think in my entire life that I have met anybody that dodged the bullet of 33 to life.
Yeah.
Because I know the system.
Right.
You were probably your attorney, your family were begging you to take a plea deal.
Oh yeah.
Begging
you. Yeah.
Folks, this is like unprecedented.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So you are not only a back from the dead anomaly, miracle, I'm going to use the word miracle.
Yeah.
But you're also a miracle and I use that word miracle to get out of what he got, what he was in from the standpoint of going to trial.
Right.
So you have a lot to say.
Oh, definitely. A whole lot, man. But, I try not to function as if I know too much. Because sometimes when you know too much, you get attention that you don't need.
Well, that's experience.
This is true. Experience. So, I try to listen a lot sometimes too, and learn.
Let me ask you a question, because we have covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
This has been one of the best interviews I've ever had. Question for you: what's next for Cornell Bunting?
So we're getting ready to put a campus in Jamaica where, so it's a entity of what I have here with a nonprofit called EAS, stands for Everyone Has a Story. So between here and Jamaica, I'm helping 1,400 kids make better decisions for themselves. And so basically helping them understand that something is going to come into existence that wouldn't come into existence without them being a part of it. So with that, I'm trying to acquire some land right now to put up a campus. It's like a 3-tier. So the campus that, highlight all the soft skill learning programs, then 20 acres to highlight agriculture. Help them in all these different areas and what that look like. And then the sporting aspect, health and wellness, what that look like to treat the vessel that we're in. We're in a vessel, just like when you get a car.
Absolutely.
You got to, take care of it. You got to do all these different maintenance.
Big thing about LFG life is what you eat, what you think, what you put in your mind, what you put in your body.
That's it. So, so we're doing that. So we're getting ready to sit down with the government in Jamaica, with what that campus is going to look like and, all the different moving parts with that, with the different partnerships and stuff
Amazing.
like that. Yeah, man.
Question as we wrap up the show. You play pickleball?
Definitely.
What's your rating?
I think right now I'm sitting at about 3.5 good. I've only started playing it in August.
See, I can tell this guy's honest because a guy that says it's 3.5, he's being honest. Like, normally a guy who's 3.5 says, I'm a 4.5, and then no. That's good. How long have you been playing?
Since August.
Well,
but I used to play tennis. I used to be a tennis champ.
Gotcha. Okay.
From my community.
Right.
So
So the thing with tennis players, the ball's not going to come up to you. You got to wait for it to come up.
Right.
You can't hit. You can't serve and volley.
Right.
You got to let in the kitchen.
Yes.
So I get. Yeah. So pickleball is a big part of my life. We'll get into that. Oh yeah.
We gonna be playing.
Yeah, 100%, guys. I will tell you this. This is one of the most breathtaking. And breath of fresh air interview I've ever done because of this man's transparency, his story. When I talk about what we just talked about, to dodge a bullet, 33 to life, to go to trial and win, God is on your side. To dodge a bullet from death itself and tell Satan to just F off when you said no to your son to take him is another miracle. Your 10th book's coming out. It's called Trauma to Triumph.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
What you're doing with the community is amazing. And so, Cornell Bunting, you are an exact example of what it's like to be living the LFG life.
Come on.
Be 100, 100. Be 100%, 100% of the time.
Lovely.
My brother.
Listen, man. And don't pick on me when we play pickleball.
No, I got, dude. I think